He never cried at her funeral, but every night he secretly went to her grave with a book in his hands.
20 years ago, before Saad became a husband, before he became a father, there was a girl named Hira, and she was the love of his life. They were recently engaged. In their families, the engagement already included a religious marriage contract. So to Saad, Hira was already his wife. She was kind, soft-spoken, always smiling. But she had one strange habit. After touching flour, after cooking, even after making one piece of bread, she immediately rushed to wash her hands, almost like fear. Saad used to get annoyed.
You don't need to wash your hands every second.
I can't help it.
A few days before Eid, Saad was playing cricket with friends. Suddenly, a little boy came running toward the field. "They took Hira to the hospital!" he shouted. Sayyid's heart nearly stopped. He dropped the bat and ran. Every step felt heavy. His heartbeat was so loud he could hear it in his ears. This was long before smartphones. There was no way to know what happened. When he finally reached the hospital, he learned the truth. The previous night, after making bread, Hira had washed her hands again like always. Later, she complained about pain in her hands and arms, thinking it was something small. She took painkillers herself, but by afternoon, her condition became dangerously worse, and then she collapsed, unconscious. The last days, for 3 days, Saad sat between fear and hope. When Hira returned home, she was weak and barely spoke. Normally, families didn't allow engaged couples to meet freely. But this time, everyone understood. Saad visited her every evening. He sat beside her bed and read novels aloud to her. Sometimes she smiled softly at certain lines. Sometimes she just listened quietly. And every night, Saad promised himself she would recover soon. But fate had already decided otherwise. On the morning of Eid, someone banged violently on Saad's door. It was Hira's brother, Zahid. His face was pale. His lips trembled. He tried to speak, but instead he grabbed Saad and broke down crying. And in that moment, Saad understood everything. Hira was gone. The funeral happened. People cried. Prayers were read. The grave was covered with dirt. But Saad never cried. Not once. After returning home, he wore his new Eid clothes, combed his hair, put on perfume. People stared at him in shock. His friend Mithu stopped him outside.
How can you act normal after this?
I won't cry for someone foolish.
And then he walked away. Sayed went straight to Hira's house. Near her bed, he found the unfinished novel he had been reading to her. Quietly, he picked it up. Then he walked alone to the cemetery. He sat beside her grave, opened the book, and started reading aloud, as if she was still listening. The next evening, he returned again, and the evening after that, until finally, the novel was complete. On the last day, Mithu secretly followed him. He watched silently as Saad closed the book near the grave.
What were you doing here?
I may not cry for her, but I couldn't break my promise. I told her I would finish the story for her.
20 years passed. Saad got married again. He became a father. Life moved forward. Or at least, that's what everyone thought. One evening, his 15-year-old daughter removed bread from the stove and immediately rushed to wash her hands. The exact same habit. The exact same movement. And before Saad could stop himself, slap. The room froze. His daughter burst into tears. His wife stood shocked. His mother started scolding him. But Saad couldn't even speak. He walked out of the house and kept walking, far away. But no matter how far he went, He couldn't escape the memory living inside him. Now he understood something important. Washing hands quickly after cooking was not dangerous. It never was. But trauma doesn't listen to logic. Some fears bury themselves so deeply inside the heart that even time cannot remove them. And sometimes, people are not fighting the present. They are fighting ghosts from 20 years ago. Sometimes, the people who look strong on the outside are still broken somewhere inside.